13th penalty for the Argonauts. 2nd and 15 now for Sampson.
They're coming again.
Needs to convert again. Wide open far side. It's Mitchell. And that'll be a first down. No, he couldn't hang on.
Well, he did a nice job of disguising it.
Yeah, I thought from the backside it looked like he might have been able to hang on.
O.T. Sampson saw the pressure again and had his guy this time. Boy, it looked like he had that. He had to really lay out to get it. The official was right on the spot and waved it off immediately. There, it slipped through there and bounced right up into him. So he tried to sell it, but no one was buying.
At least no one in a striped shirt. 3rd down and 15 to go. The Argos think that they really have to come up with points here, more than a field goal. So they'll go gunning for it. Do you like the call?
I don't. I mean, I think you get points when you're, and there's lots of football to be played yet.
3rd and 15. Markers are down everywhere. Sampson has this one picked up. Another flag is down. A roughing call on Sampson. Jack Kellogg heads down the sidelines. He's got an escort of Stampeders over there, and he's slowed down at the 35. There's a flag back in the Calgary zone and one in the area of the Toronto quarterback. 62 yards on the interception return if it stands for Calgary.
I think the Calgary Stampeders, John, had too many men on the football field. Here comes the throw, and there's a couple of reasons why I didn't like this going in.
Too many men. Calgary. Major foul. Roughing the passer. 76 Calgary. Toronto ball, first down.
Oh, big break for the Argos. Big break. 2 reasons I didn't like the call. Number 1, I think with lots of time left in the game, you still got to go and get the points when you can. They're in field goal range, and when you're gambling on 3rd and that long, your tendency to force it. Now, as it turns out, John Heward gets big break. 2 of them. Calgary had too many men on the field, can't play with 13. And the second one was you get the roughing the passer. Now you get the first down as well. So those are huge breaks. Now,
so the gamble,
in fairness,
on 3rd and 15
paid off.
It paid off, but it wasn't really a high percentage play.
Well, it was one of those under the table paydays.
Yeah.
You know, not a straight up cashing a check payday. That was under the table payday. But hey, John Heward at this point will take what he can get, I'm sure.
So no tax on that one is what you're saying.
There's no tax on that.
No tax. Stampeders have a 29-3 lead. The Argonauts have an opportunity to get to the end zone for the first time. 1st and 10 at the Calgary 13. Halfway there. Ryan Terry, number 33. He's been used a little bit more tonight as a running back in this Argonaut offense. Last week was his first game of 2000, and so he was a little out of game shape, I would suggest.
Yeah, he had 6 carries last week, had 33 yards, pretty decent average, got in the end zone, and you're right, it takes a while to get that game shape back. You ride the bike all you want. When you get out there and there's 20 seconds between plays, it hits you in a hurry.
2nd and 4. Argos would love to hit the end zone here. There's the toss, and ball's got it down to the 2.
I think he got enough.
Might be able to get the first down, and that'll give the Argos 3 cracks at it from near the 2-yard line.
Well, they're going to be very close. You can see by our line that it was very close to first down territory. The dump off pass, a stunt up front as Joe Fleming comes around the corner, and that's pretty decent tackling by Eddie Davis and Jack Kellogg, because that's a tough guy to tackle. That's pinball right in there. Now watch this. He's a tough guy to tackle anywhere. Tough guy to tackle in a phone booth. Look at this. They wrap him up inside out, outside in.
And then they threw him back.
But now they're going to, well, they did get the first down.
They threw him back and they gave him forward progress.
Yep, that's right.
So here we are. Argos 3 cracks at it from the 2. Score here. And life's a little bit better for John Heward and company. New quarterback in there. That's Greg Hill. Likes to run, but he hands off to Terry. And I didn't see a signal down there.
No, they haven't yet.
They haven't.
Greg Hill's in the game.
Suggested touchdown. I thought he was in.
Yeah, and they're celebrating like he was. They just, I guess when you're in McMahon Stadium, your signal is not quite as vocal.
It was the silent signal.
Well, let's take a look. We got the good angle here. Greg Hill's in the game because he can run this option better than anybody. Yeah, clearly in the end zone.
I thought he was, Glenn, but I really didn't see any official down there.
Well, we're
Say
way
6 points.
We're way up here. And you're in Calgary.
Sherwood Schwartz, the Argonauts owner, knows it's a touchdown. He's standing behind us here and will join us in a couple of moments for a little chat. Anyway, the Argos have the touchdown, and that was a rather interesting drive, aided by a couple of penalties, but the Argos have their first major of the night. Brian Terry up and over and through. Oh, there's the signal right on the line. 10th against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Ticket information available there, and here's the guy who'll sell you the tickets, the Argos owner, Sherwood Schwartz. How are you enjoying being a football owner? Did J.I. tell you everything that was going to happen when he got you into this?
Well, I have to tell you, my feeling was I really should be stamping my feet and crying, but I'm a little too old for that. I did that when I was 3.
Having any fun?
Not tonight.
No?
Well, there's still lots of time left. Now, what about the ticket situation and the fan situation in Toronto? I love the Looney idea, by the way.
Oh, I think that should really be bringing people in. I really don't understand why we haven't had a significant crowd up to now. Because, as you know, at the end of the 3rd quarter, a lucky ticket brings in a Looney for everybody at the game.
Yeah, I think it's a great promotion.
Here's more trouble for you, Sherwood, as Marvin Coleman takes the return on the kickoff after the Argonauts touchdown out near the 50-yard line. Talk to you a little bit about fun. How nerve-wracking has it been watching your football team perform so far this season?
Well, these games, when we play teams like Calgary, who obviously is a superior team in terms of the Canadian Football League. I mean, they were in the Grey Cup last year. The year before that, they won the Grey Cup. You got to expect to have a tough game.
And you're getting that here tonight.
Are we ever?
Stampeders have a first down at the 50. Nice play action fake by Dickinson.
Oh, boy.
Big hit.
The owner's got to love the hit from his free safety.
Yeah, that was Dwayne Ford making the catch. He held on. And Vernon Mitchell made him pay the price.
He just goes down the seam, and Dwayne Ford is not used to running the open field. And that's a big hit on a big man. Vernon Mitchell just lock and load and deliver.
Less than 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. The Argos trailing the Calgary Stampeders 29-10.
Well, this is obviously sure a situation where, I mean, this is a new coaching staff with some new players trying to put together this organization in a hurry, and it's going to take a little longer than 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you feel that way, because that's the way I feel too.
Kelvin Anderson for a couple more for the Calgary Stampeders. John Hewart has been under some fire from the media and the fans, I would think, too. Sherwood, have you had anything to say to your coach personally to be a little more fan-friendly and to maybe help you get a few more fans in the seats to give a few more loonies away to?
Well, I think John is trying to devote himself completely to getting the team into a position where we will win a couple of games rather than get the fans in the seats.
Well, I know, except that, you know, there has been some adverse reaction to his style.
Well, what I like is your understatement.
No, some. Okay, well, then let's put it this way. As the media attention on your head coach and actually your general manager, J.I. Albrecht, has that upset you? Well, you know, to the fact that you've had a few words with the management of the football team?
No. I think what's happening is we're trying to put it all together. But one thing I read in the paper today was the fact that we had 100,000 more people watching the game against Hamilton last week. So,
oh no, you know, I mean,
for you guys, it's a, you know.
Mark McLaughlin hits the post. Oh, there you go. There's a take, Sherwood.
I'm not leaving. Can I help you with this game?
You can stay right here for a while, sure. Well, I mean, it doesn't get any easier for your team, Sherwood. I mean, and I guess the question that has to be asked is, how patient can you be with the coaching staff? Should this game fall, this is a tough schedule that you're looking at here that you got to go into, take on. So, I mean, how patient can you be with this coaching staff?
Well, take a look at the teams we've played. Montreal didn't do badly last night.
No, Montreal's unbeaten.
Okay.
No, Montreal's unbeaten. No question about that. Hamilton's
then we played Hamilton,
Yep.
right? And now we have Calgary, who was in the Grey Cup. So I don't think they gave us a schedule that was too easy.
Well, I don't think there's too many easy games in this league at this particular point. Flags are down. Interesting play developing there. O.T. Sampson ran for a lot to pick up 9 yards. Lots of talk about your quarterbacking situation and the head coach not announcing who would be the quarterback. Would you like him to be a little bit more open about his starting quarterback week to week?
Illegal procedure.
Well, I think he may have a problem himself deciding who the quarterback is going to be.
I think that's an interesting point, because he has told us he hasn't been able to make up his mind a couple of times. But is there a breaking point for this organization to try and get things turned around when you look at the schedule? I know you've said you wouldn't be adverse to making changes if it were absolutely necessary.
Well, there always is a breaking point. But I don't think we're anywhere close to that, because, as you pointed out, we've had 3 of the toughest teams, Montreal back-to-back. So, and we're just putting this together.
Well, and again, a big game against Winnipeg coming up next week. So here's your last chance to put in a plug for putting a few more people in the stands. Tickets are available, I'm sure.
Well, we have a few left. And just remember that every ticket that's purchased has an opportunity to win the Loonie.
Yeah, I think that's a great promotion. And we saw in the one game in Montreal, someone won over $20,000. Well, 20,000 fans. Should be a good crowd for that Winnipeg game, because that's a big game, and it will be a big game for both clubs no matter what happens this week.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the people who are watching this game come to the stadium and get an opportunity to win some money.
Now, Sherwood, we're going to be there as well. If I bought a ticket, does that mean I can have a chance to win, or am I out?
Uh-oh, Sherwood, here you go.
That was not one of our better plays.
No, here's Jack Kellogg with the interception. He had one earlier called back. And the Argonauts turn it over again. Sherwood, you're a brave guy hanging in here with this football team in the early stages. I know you're going to try and make it a success, and I'm pretty sure you will, because you've got the right attitude.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate being on with you guys.
All right.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
I will continue monitoring this team, though, so keep those guys in line.
Okay.
Thanks to Sherwood Schwartz, the owner of the Toronto Argonauts.
A little rollout, trying to move the pocket from O.T. Sampson, and throws it right to Jack Kellogg. And when you don't get a lot of reps with the starting group, mistakes like that can easily happen. Not sure where the receiver is going to go, not sure where the quarterback or when he's going to throw it.
Here's Rock Preston. Nice fake and a pitch from Dickinson, and then Matavius Houston came over and cut Preston down. It looked like a more substantial yardage might be available there. But Houston made a good defensive play.
What's up, everybody? Trying to do his thing after bad performance last week.
Greg Hill is still holding the clipboard, but who knows? There's lots of time left, and got a whole quarter. We may see him in more than just short yardage before this is over.
Stampeders have rushed for 171 yards. The Argos for 48. Dickinson on 2nd and 4. End zone toss. There's the touchdown. Boy, that looked simple. Alan Pitts has another one. 14 yards this time. Stampeders have offensive weapons everywhere in the backfield. And not many better than Alan Pitts, who's got a couple tonight.
Well, again, you know, we talked about it right out at the start that this is an inexperienced secondary. I mean, you have Adrian Smith. He's your experience on one corner, and you have Antonius Bonner, but that's only one side of the field. So you can work a whole side of the field if you're Dave Dickinson and just try and exploit inexperience. And they have done that tonight. And Can't get much more experience than Mr. Pitts.
4 for 47 and 2 touchdowns for Alan Pitts so far tonight. Mark McLaughlin hit the upright with his last kicking attempt and hammers that convert through. Check out the scoreboard. Stampeders have a 36-10 lead on the Toronto Argonauts. And here's Alan Pitts into the end zone once more.
Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN at the quarter.
Other stuff from tonight. Edmonton beats Hamilton 16-10, held the Ticats to a measly field goal over the last 3.5 quarters and picked off Danny Mack 4 times. Bombers win 31-16. No overtime losses, no last-second field goals when there was really no time. The Bombers pull it out. Kahari Jones for Robert Gordon. 2 touchdowns in the second half. That was the difference. And as for the Lions, 2 TDs in the last 14 quarters. They are suddenly footy cats. Second last in the CFL in scoring, and 3 straight losses, only 31 points over that time. What do they do, Matt, in BC? They can't bring you back. We've already established that.
No. It's not about me. It's about Damon Allen. It's about the offensive line, the running backs, and Joe Powell putting them all together. Their receiving core has been decimated week in, week out, always changing a revolving door there. They got a quality offensive line, quality quarterback, and quality running backs. Listen to what I'm fixing to say. I think they need a true fullback, like a Warren Hudson, a Neil Lumsden, a Blake Marshall, somebody like a Heppel out of Montreal, somebody like a Dwayne Ford from Calgary. Get somebody to run for those guys, establish a line of scrimmage, and I think they've been trying to do that. I know that in talking to Joe Powell. They've been trying to establish a line of scrimmage, but Chris, I believe that this is a key for them. Get out of the spread, get you a fullback, and let Drummond and Millington follow them up the hole.
I totally agree, because when you talk about fullbacks, you're talking about a guy who will smash right into the linebackers and create plays. Bottom line, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, congratulations on your first win. This one was based on your competitive games before. Great effort level by this team. I think they can build on it, James.
They've showed they can play with pretty much everybody in the league so far. As for British Columbia, big-time problems, and they are down in 3rd place now in the West.
Another full house at McMahon Stadium. And these Stampeder fans love their football team for obvious reasons, but this is a great football town these days. And Calgary leading the league in attendance, and here are some smiling, happy faces as the Stampeders roll along, unbeaten through 2000 so far. Returning for Toronto is Harris, and he's wrapped up by Eddie Davis and Aldi Henry. On the sidelines, Sherry Hargrave.
I'm standing here with Shante Peoples, and you're holding little yellow footballs, and you're not on the field. What's up with that?
My fiance's in the crowd, and also people that I live with. They've been trying to get a ball since game 1, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it to them.
I think you're lying. You have an ice bag on your right hamstring. Tell me about that.
Well, I kind of strained it last week. You know, in the first half, defense didn't really play a lot, and I think I got tight, and I didn't stretch enough. And it's just a play when I was going hard, and I probably wasn't loose enough, and I just strained it again.
Thank you. Good luck.
Johnny Peoples had a solid first half. He's really been a welcome addition to the Calgary Stampeders. Long pass, far side. Jenkins makes the catch on the toss from O.T. Sampson.
And Al, John, it's a little easier to go out and hand footballs to the fans and to your fiancé and whoever else when you're up 36-10. And when your team is putting up numbers like the Calgary Stampeders are, you can take a break if you got a bit of a hamstring.
Yeah, the Stampeders down that right column get a check mark in every little box there. 25-19.
20 first downs in 3 quarters is pretty impressive.
Yeah. Alan Pitts has the 2 touchdown catches. And Dave Dickinson has really maneuvered his football team all over the field.
You know, it's interesting talking to Sherwood Schwartz, and we talk about what a great job the Calgary Stampeders have done and what they've done here in the stadium. It's packed. It's over 34,000. This is an organization that's building brand new from scratch, basically, with a new owner, new coaching staff, trying to put people back in the seats. The bottom line is these things take time. And you go back to the 80s, this Calgary Stampeder franchise was in big trouble. We mentioned that. And now look at them. It can turn around.
On second down, Argonauts just needed a half a yard. They get another first down. Wally Buono has been here for all of the good times in Calgary through the 90s. Well, but when you look around this ballpark, and it's full tonight, there are tailgate parties happening out behind the stands here at McMahon. And Sig Gucci, the Stampeders owner, did take Sherwood Schwartz on a little tour before the game to show him at least a few of the things that were going right in Calgary and maybe explain why.
Yeah, and he looks at that and he says potential, you know.
Well off target.
But, you know, the reason the Calgary Stampeders have been so successful is not only Wally Buono and what they've done on the field, although that's been outstanding really for the entire 90s, but also everything they do behind the scenes. This is a first-class organization, and the word that always comes to mind when I walk into this stadium, whether it be a press conference run by Ron Rook or talking to the owner or walking into the office, it's professional. It's professional from the top all the way to the bottom of the organization, and that never changes. And over time, it pays off, and it's paying off right now for the Stampeders.
Long toss. Mitchell makes the catch out at the 45 in front of double coverage. So they finally get to Daryl Mitchell a little bit late in this football game. 36-10, Stampeders on top of the Toronto Argonauts.
It's a reason to give John Hewitt at least a little bit of a smile that you saw there. Got him behind there, and Greg Frères had to cover a lot of ground to try and get over there and help, and couldn't get there in time. So they're still working on things. Still working on their offense, and it's a long way to come back.
37 yards for Mitchell on the previous play. Sampson has Jenkins open. Jenkins beats one tackle. Nice run for a first down. He's wrapped up by Jack Kellogg after that. 13 yards for Michael Jenkins.
I mean, here's the thing that the Argos do have, and the Argos who have really struggled this year, no question, but they have good running backs. And Michael Jenkins, Ryan Terry, two great running backs that are going to be even better the more they play. They have some talent on defense. Calvin Tiggle, Adrian Smith, Antonius Bonner, Fred Perry, Johnny Scott. There's some talent there. Now they just have to put it together, try and mold it together.
Ryan Terry. Another nice run by Terry, who was the Argos' leading rusher last year. And he has 9 more yards.
That's the upside. The downside is John Hewitt's got to get it done in a hurry.
Yeah. And I think the other problem that Hewitt has, he really believed the double tight end offense would work efficiently. And so he spent training camp and the preseason believing this offense was the answer.
Yeah.
He found out 3 weeks into the season, or maybe 2 weeks into the season, that it wasn't. So he's had to retool everything. He geared everything for the double tight end set.
John, you're absolutely right. And then when you think about that, take it another step. Here's the bottom line. They make the change last week to the spread offense and have success against Hamilton and maybe surprise the Hamilton Tiger Cats a little bit with the offensive set. Okay, basically what you're saying now is they're in their second week of training camp running this offensive set.
And they're running it against a defense like the Calgary Stampeders. And I'll tell you what, this group is very, very solid.
Well, no
Stampeder
question.
defense, without question. Much better. I shouldn't say much better, but decidedly better than it was last year with Fleming and Peoples in there.
And you know what, though, having said all that, this game comes down to just win, baby. And they got to find a way soon.
Ryan Terry may find the end zone. He does. Argo touchdown. 21 yards. Ryan Terry.
Well, and there's a positive. We just talked about the running backs. They've got some good ones, and good running backs make you miss in the open field. Good blocks at the point of attack. He gets them into the secondary, and watch this. Nice little move right. Cut back there. A little cut back on safety, Greg Frères, and he's in.
Here is the bad news from this play. Terry is into the end zone, but the Argos have a serious injury, I do believe, to their best offensive lineman, the center, Chad Folk. That's Folk down on the turf just inside the 15-yard line. And that has been a real area of concern since training camp. the offensive line.
Chad Folk was pulling. He snapped the ball and then pulled, and then I think he just got buckled under possibly one of his own players. Made a good block. He's the guy who sprung Ryan Terry for the touchdown.
So Terry with a 21-yard touchdown, 9 carries, 60 yards, make it 59 yards, and a couple of touchdowns for Terry tonight. But this is of great concern to the Argos because Chad Folk got spun by Darryl Hall.
Yeah, and this is devastating because this has been an area right here. He's right in behind, pulling this way. He's the center, Chad Folk. Now watch him pull out there. He turns up, turns the corner, and he's going to turn on Darryl Hall. See, he turns right there and makes the block, gets pushed back, and goes down hard. He's going to come right towards you, 56. See, he's facing this way, and he's trying to hit this way, and he may have twisted something in there in the process as he turns back, because it's a pretty good hit that he took from Darryl Hall. So it was the block that sprung him, and that's a good sign right there that he's getting up and walking off.
Yeah, it looked very serious down there when he was unable to move at all. And favoring his knee, but he's off under his own power for now, so hopefully Chad Folk won't be lost to the Argos for too long, or they're in big trouble, I think.
Well, this is one of the things that John Hewart said as well. He said that they ran tight ends early in the league or in the year because they were having problems on their offensive line. They finally feel like they've put that together now, and they're getting better every game there. They go to the spread. That's another reason they wanted to get out of tight ends. And they think the tackles and the line is playing better, and they don't want to lose a guy like Chad Folk now.
So the Argos have a touchdown, a 21-yarder from Ryan Terry, but they're a long way in arrears to the Calgary Stampeders, trailing by 20 as it stands right now. Nice run by Ryan Terry, and a little hope for the Argos as Terry scoots to the end zone. Nice drive, engineered by O.T. Sampson.
Swipe your club card at Safeway for automatic $1 million touchdown to win entry. If your name appears, it means you've won. The VTech 1421, the world's smallest 900 megahertz digital cordless phone, featuring name and number caller ID and visual call waiting in titanium, the new color for the millennium.